It's your girl, Nikki Nicole of Divas of the Roundtable Podcast. I'm joined here today on the show with my beautiful co-hosts, Ladybug and Spicy Red. On today's show, we have Yolanda Terry. Yolanda is a 50-year-old mother, grandmother, and Jacksonville native. Yolanda graduated from Andrew Jackson High School, class of 1993. She went on to earn degrees from the University of Central Florida and also from Florida State University. Yolanda is a women's health advocate, content creator, and die-hard Green Bay Packers fan. After several failed attempts and battling weight loss, she explored holistic healthcare and healthcare remedies. After that, she discovered that the true meaning behind her health issue she was having was multiple massive uterine fibroids. So after that, the surgery, Yolanda had the surgery, and it marked a significant change in her life. She went on to become a passionate person that shared her story with other women, telling her story to help empower women to prioritize their well-being, seek medical care, and she coined the phrase, go to the gym and to the doctor. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Yolanda Terry.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you for having me. Thank you so
for
much.
Coming on the show. So, how this all happened, one day I was on my vessel and I saw your TikTok that you did. What impressed me or made me want to reach out to you was, I know a lot of people that go the holistic way. Mm-hmm. They don't backpedal and say, hey, this time didn't work for me. But that was something that you acknowledged on your TikTok, that you tried that method and in the end, you had to revert back and do have surgery. And it actually, your condition had deteriorated a little bit farther. So that's why I reached out to you and was like, girl, you got to start the show. Come on the show. Because I felt like other women was, dealing with these type of things. I myself have never had to deal with the fibroid issue, but can you explain to everybody what exactly are uterine fibroids?
Absolutely. And again, thank you for having me. Okay. And one of the reasons I did that TikTok video is because I see so many content creators or influencers or people that are health gurus in a way shaming us for going the traditional route, seeking help from traditional doctors. Okay. When in fact, in my case, once we get to a certain point in any of our health journeys, you may need to seek out traditional healthcare. And there is no shame in that. Yes. That is really what my message was about. There is no shame in that. Now, did I love my holistic journey? Do I continue that? Absolutely. But what I want women to know is that one thing is, do not let doctors or anyone holistic or any fitness person just continue to tell you you're overweight. Okay. Because I walked around with a stomach, an abdomen equivalent, they said, to the size of a 6-month pregnancy, which being told you need to lose weight, you need to change your diet, you need to go vegan. And I'm trying these things when all along, as you said, four massive fibroid tumors, which are gross, that do not have to be cancerous. Yes. Let's say that, because that is also a myth that because a woman has fibroid tumors, that they're going to be cancerous. Right. Okay. The fear of cancer sometimes with women that I've spoken to causes them not to go to the doctor. They don't want to go to the doctor. They don't want to get that cancer diagnosis. Fibroids do not have to be a death sentence, and they are not all cancerous. Right. They can be, they can turn into that, but they do not have to be, and we need to go to the doctor. I'm still on holistic. I'm still on go to the gym, and I'm still on, girl, go to the doctor at the same time. Yes. And so they are growths that can attach not only to our uterus, but to our breast tissue. Anywhere we as women have tissue that they can gravitate to grow, that is what a fibroid tumor is. It's a myth that they only grow in our uterus. Okay. They can also be in our breast. So I'm on breast health. Let's take care of us. Let's check us, because that is what it can be. Do not get caught up into, oh, it's just belly fat. Oh, I'm just gaining weight. I have a beer gut. If you are continuing to have bloating issues, you're doing all the things. You are doing the holistic stuff as I was doing, and you're still finding that you're having gut issues. I don't know if you ladies hear this, but what I hear a lot and see a lot on all platforms of social media, especially TikTok, gut health, gut health, gut health.
Yes.
And I agree with that. I agree that it starts with our guts. I agree that we need to have good gut health. But please do not get caught up into these detox teas, these detox pills, these detox methods talking about you just got belly fat. You just got parasites. You got a tumor. And yes, there are some great holistic methods that help reduce the size of those tumors. Great with shrinking them. But once they get too pliable, once they get too large, the fact of the matter is we need traditional medicine. We may need surgery. Now, does that mean you may have to have an invasive surgery like I had? No, there are some other methods that are out there that do not require such extensive surgery, such extensive hospital stays, but you have to catch the fibroids in those stages.
Yes.
Once you are talking through 4, 5, 6 pounds, and even in my case, 14 pounds of fibroid tumors. There's no detox tea that's getting rid of that.
14 pounds.
That's not happening.
I'm thinking about you saying they said 6 month pregnant. No 6 month baby, no 14 pounds.
Right.
Wow.
Right. That's a lot.
That's how I'm looking. I literally went to have an ultrasound. The ultrasound technician said, this is the equivalent of a 6 month pregnancy. He said, I had to check your chart and check your age because I was confused.
Wow.
That you're not pregnant. Just full of tumors. Detox teas are not getting rid of that.
No.
Yeah.
Inflammatory teas are not getting rid of that. And I am not saying don't do those, because they're great. And I still do them. I love a good tea. I love a good detox. You know, if you watch me on TikTok, or, Instagram, Facebook, I'm always on I'm looking for a detox. Because they are good for us. They are healthy. We should detox. But there are times, there are going to be phases and stages of things such as tumors, such as cancers, that we're going to have to go the traditional route.
Yes. Yeah.
Because if we wait too long, like I did, I'm honest in saying I waited too long. I didn't see about me, you know, and I'm trying all of this stuff I'm seeing on social media, all the things I'm seeing on the internet, not knocking anyone's business, because some of it is great. But we have to be honest. If we're going to be content creators, we're going to be influencers, we have to be honest that sometimes we need to go to the doctor.
And I think the thing with this is, because I've had the surgery, I knew something was wrong because I kept having these just cycles that were unbelievable. It was unbelievably heavy. And I was just like, I know this is not normal. And we know it's not normal. So when it was time for me to go get my annual, I went in there and told her what was wrong. They did the ultrasound. As soon as I did it, they immediately sent me to go to the doctor. I immediately had to go to the doctor.
Wow.
It wasn't okay, we're going to make your appointment. No, I immediately went to the doctor, and they start telling me the different options that I had, because like you said, I had them, they were like 11 to 13 millimeters, and I had like probably 12 or 13 of them, and I was equivalent to 5 months pregnant. So that explained it. So when they start telling you all the things that they could do, but because it got so far, they can't do it.
Yeah.
Right.
And the only thing that you have left is
Traditional
surgery, traditional surgery. Yeah. And sometimes when you hear that surgery, you go into fear.
Yes.
You go into fear. Because for me to have surgery, the first thing I asked them, I'm going to have to stay in the hospital. Because I have never been in the hospital since May 1st. This year will be 50 years. I have never spent the night in the hospital since the day my mama took me home from the hospital. So you hear that, you like, I don't I don't know. I don't know. But then when you start thinking about the pain and the situation that you were in, and this is not how you want to live your life, then you got to really start talking to those doctors and figuring out, how are we going to fix this?
Yeah.
What can I do to fix this? So some of the symptoms may be heavy menstrual, bleeding, longer or more frequent periods, pelvic pressure or pain, frequent urination or trouble urinating, growing stomach area, and we always, that growing stomach area, you just be like, why my stomach won't go down? Constipation, pain in the stomach area or lower back, and most commonly pain during sex. So these are just some of the symptoms that women have who are dealing with these fibroids, who are dealing with this. And then I was told, because I had them when I was younger. I had them when I was like 20, had the same symptoms, but they gave me some medicine and it disappeared. 20 years later, it was nonstop. It was nonstop. And then it also does things, it made me anemic.
Yes.
I had low iron. My legs was hurting. My knees was burning. And you're really tired. I was working out. That's when I had lost all my weight. I was working out, and I just kept asking the doctor, why am I so tired? Why are my legs hurt? And she was like, you're losing all this blood. You don't have the iron. So your body is feeling it because you're losing this and you're hurting.
Yeah.
And you're thinking that how could something that's supposed to help clean out my system hurt me? Hurt me so bad. So it's a really hurtful thing. So I'm glad you're on here talking about it, because I know a lot of my friends who have had this, who have had the hysterectomy, the partial hysterectomy, and we don't realize that it was a blessing that we were able to make it out, because I've heard of a few horror stories too of them, because I don't know if I had laparoscopic. Was yours laparoscopic?
Yes. So one of the things that I'm glad you brought up, some of the things I'm glad you brought up, because some of the questions that I was asked or comments on social media, well, if she had gone to the gynecologist or if she was going to the gynecologist on a regular basis, she would have known. First of all, I have always gone to the gynecologist, okay? Consistently. My gynecologist initially, this is how fast they'll grow and with no symptoms. So I wanted to go back to what you were talking about, symptoms. I had not one of the symptoms that you mentioned other than the stomach, other than being told I'm overweight, other than being told you're apple shaped so you gain weight in your belly. Everything else that you listed, never had. When I went to the gynecologist, she said to me, well, you have 4 fibroids, but they're just the size of golf balls or even smaller. But you're not having any symptoms. So if they're not bothering you, don't bother them. That's exactly what she said.
That's what they tell
to me.
Wow.
A year later, what was golf ball size had become grapefruit size, then basketball size. So it was not that I was not going to see the gynecologist. It had nothing to do with that. And it was not that I was ignoring symptoms. I did not have any of those symptoms. Never once did I have them. So it goes back to what you said. We have to know that something's wrong. We have to know our bodies in order to ring the alarm, because I did not have those symptoms. So I wanted to point that out, because I don't want anyone to think that because they're not having those symptoms that, oh, well, then mine must be belly fat or I must need to lose weight. No.
It's amazing how large the uterus can stretch to accommodate these things. We know a baby, but babies, most people don't have 14-pound babies. And to have, was it 14-pound collectively?
Yes.
All of them?
Yes.
So,
it was a total.
That's amazing to me that you got these clusters that equals 14 pounds in your uterus stretched to accommodate that.
Exactly.
Wow.
For the ones that's unfamiliar, could you explain, even both of you guys, could you explain what fibroids are and how do they form in the body?
Well, one of the things, the way that it was explained to me is that we as women carry a little bit more of a tissue and fatty tissue than men. And so more so growths that form in that tissue, and they attach to our uterus, our breast tissue, wherever we have that heavy fatty tissue. And they're kind of almost like a fish that or an octopus that just grabs on. And it actually... So one of the things that why you hear a lot of people say, oh, don't eat, it's caused by you eat too much meat, you have a bad diet, alcohol, things like that, red meat. Because it is true, based on what my medical doctor said, is that they do grow and thrive off of fat. So if we're eating a lot of fatty foods, a lot of fatty meats, they do have the opportunity to continue to grow and to get larger through that. But are they always cancerous? Absolutely not. Can they be? Yes, only a biopsy would be able to tell you that. Did we do anything wrong for them to happen to us? Absolutely not. We just out here living our best lives. If you have children, you can have children and not have children, I found out, and still suffer from fibroid tumors. If you are a woman with a uterus and some ovaries and some good breast tissue, you can be subject to fibroid tumors.
I looked on blackdoctor.org website. I got this from there. It actually stated that the cause of fibroids are unknown. However, genetics, hormones, diet, obesity, and early menses are all thought to be contributing factors to women getting fibroids. So women who develop their cycles earlier.
Yes.
And I wonder if that has something to do with a menses is nothing but the lining shedding itself. So growing back, shedding itself, growing back, it leaves us open to more opportunity for things to happen when you keep shedding and regrowing, shedding and regrowing. Because the cells are constantly mutating and changing and different things like that. So I think,
yeah, absolutely.
We just, we was done.
Scarred.
We
have all kinds of problems. And sometimes, in my case, the lining of my uterus and all the fibroids, they had started blending in to each other. So they also had to shave the lining of my uterus to make sure the fibroids, because they will go into the lining of your uterus. So when you have that laparoscopic surgery, they have to go in, take whatever it is in the lining of your uterus and make sure they don't cut your bladder and all of this kind of stuff. They give you like a full video of your insides.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, this is what you got. And they give you those 4 incisions. And then that's where they go in, and your belly button is the incision where they pull the most of it out, a majority. And whatever cannot be pulled out through your belly button, it will come out vaginally. And then it takes about an 8-week, about an 8-week process. Mine ended up getting, one of my incision over my belly button ended up getting infected. Because it started, when they heal, I guess I have a little keloid. So it was healing, and it was looking like a raisin, and it had started turning like a great ugly color. And I was like, it's just something not right with this. And it kept itching and itching and itching and itching. And so when I went to the doctor, she said, yeah, it's infected. So I had to get on antibiotics for that. And then she told me to pour, witch hazel peroxide on it. And if it's bubbling up around the wound, it will still heal. But other than that, that was the only complication. And like for maybe about a year or two, it was always itching around that area. And I asked my doctor why it was itching. And she said, because we had to cut all those layers of skin. That's why, even though we did the laparoscopic, they still have to burn through your skin. So she said that's why you have those problems. So I just want people to know that fibroids, like she said, it's muscle tissue. They're common in women. They can be asymptomatic. And then I read something. I always read this. As African American women, we are more prone and we have the highest tendency to get everything. I don't know how our bodies are set up, why our bodies built like this, but we are so prone to get everything, high blood pressure,
Sure.
diabetes, fibroids, and you have to get the hysterectomies. We are more prone than anything, are more susceptible. So I don't know if it's something in our diet. We can't
That's
be.
what I was about to say.
But
You know,
everybody's eating this, but why does it always attack our body?
Yes, yes.
Why does it always attack? And like you said, it's the hormones, it's other growth factors, insulin, growth factor. I know I did have a problem with insulin. I was insulin rejection, which means I take too much. I just keep the insulin. So
okay.
sometimes that might add to it. So it's just risk factors, race. But Black people are more likely to have fibroids than any other racial groups. Black people have fibroids at younger ages than other races. And they're also likely to have more larger fibroids and with worse symptoms than white people do.
Now, one of the things that I want to address, going back to you talking about your surgery, because we want to make sure that it's all on the table. Because you'll have people say, well, there's no way in the world you had it laparoscopically and your fibroids were that large. And you're correct. I did end up having laparoscopic surgery, but what I didn't share, I shared a little bit in my video, is I spent 9 months, my fibroids were so large, and based on my age at the time, I was about 48, 49 when we started, and they were so large that I actually was placed on a medication known as Lupron for 9 months in order to shrink them to where they then became only a total of 8 pounds, and they were small enough that they could be removed. And that's how that happens. So when people say, oh, well, when I had people commenting or reaching out to me, DM or whatever, like, oh, well, how did, I want to have laparoscopic, but they told me that, they're too large. You can't have it, that way, and it's that large. So how did you do that? Well, no, let's go back. Watch the video. I said there was a period of 9 months to almost a year where I took a medication that, of course, holistically, they say, no, you shouldn't take that. It's going to cause you this problem, that problem. And yes, Lupron does have side effects. It's going to throw you into early menopause. Well, guess what? I'm either going to go into early menopause or I'm going to die. What we doing here? I'll take the early menopause. Yeah. But, what are we doing? Or because what happens is, no, my fibroids were not cancerous, but when they were getting as large as mine, the reason why you hear me say I'm about to die, they're going to take me out, is because they were so large. Now they're starting to affect, like Nicole was talking about, how our uterus can grow so large. Now it's affecting my kidneys, my liver. Now I'm having insulin problems because my liver's not functioning well. Kidneys aren't functioning well. So by the time, yes, I had laparoscopic surgery, but 9 months later, as the doctor continued to measure them so that they could get small enough, because he was like, at your age, I don't want to open you up like that. Because if I can't get these to shrink, we're talking about opening you up from under your breastbone to your pelvic. That's how large it is. Wow. In order for me to get your uterus out. He was like, so what do you want to do? Give me the loop, doc. Hit me with the Lupron. Let's go. We'll worry about the side effects later. Hit me with the Lupron.
Yes.
And then people have to realize with side effects when they give you medication. When they do those test studies and those test trials, that's for a reason. They say like 100 people. Well, if out of those 100 people, it may only be happening to one thing, they still have to write it down as a side effect. If it happened, one person coughed, they have to write it down for a side effect. Another person had a fever, they had to write it down as a side effect. Another person got dizzy. So you might not have all of the side effects, but I know the side effects are sometimes crazy and scary, because them side effects, when you read the medicine, oh, I don't want to take it. But then when you take it, you don't have any of the side effects. So we have to realize that's just there. That's just a disclaimer to let you know that this might happen. So you can't be saying, well, I'm going to sue y'all because y'all never told me this was going to happen. Oh, I'm going to sue. It's on there.
My husband the other night, the commercial came on and he jumped up, what? Gonna go and get his little bag of medicine. And so I'm looking at him like, what's wrong with this fool? And he gonna throw the pills on the bed. And I looked, I said, what's this? And it was the same thing on the commercial. I said, they have to say that. that don't mean you're gonna have this, and that.
Right.
They have to put it. That's what I told them. I say one, maybe two people out of a whole case study develop
That's right.
XYZ, and they have to list it as a possible side effect. But in the end, like you saying, they were talking about that medicine will put you in the early menopause. What you were taking the medicine for to ultimately have this surgery was going to put you in the menopause anyway.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, and that was one of the, and what I also talked about in the video is I actually ended up going 2.5 hours away to a doctor in Melbourne, Florida, and a Hispanic man, okay, because of what you said, Nicole. I'm fighting a loser. I'm talking to female doctors, some African American, some not, who are continuing to tell me about the side effects or, early menopause. Okay, but you're still saying, because there is a procedure. Now, there is a procedure that they can do to just remove the fibroids from the uterus, put the uterus back, and you go on. But the thing is with that, as long as the uterus is there, and as long as you're having a cycle, the fibroids just grow back.
Yes, they're going to grow back.
They're going to grow back. So you need to give us all the facts.
Yeah.
Don't just say, oh, well, you don't want to be in early menopause. First of all, at the time you're telling me that, my youngest child is like 22 years old.
I don't even...
Baby, I ain't having no more kids. I'm not worried about menopause.
And that's what I was going to ask you.
I'm not worried about that.
Misconception on fibroids.
Yes, is that, go have your fibroids removed. Sure, we can do that. Pay your deductible, pay your co-insurance, make the doctors lots of money, but they're growing. If they put your uterus back,
it's going to happen again.
They're coming back. You're having as long as you're having a menstrual cycle also, they're coming back. Because we're women,
folks said 20
the
years
tissue,
difference.
yes.
And I still don't have kids. So I just had to realize the condition that I was going through. And listen, y'all, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. My cycles was so bad and heavy. Soon as I set up, I would have to get up. I would have to start running to the bathroom because when I'm telling you those blood clots, it just sounded like blah, 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 blah. I'm telling you, I had to have towels all in my bed. It was a string of towels going to the bed from the bathroom. The bathroom was covered with towels because when you get up, it feels like your whole bottom is coming out. And I was like,
wow.
This is not how I'm going to live. This is not going to be normal. This is not going to be my normal. Every time you get up, you got to check to make sure it's nothing falling out. Even if you're in public, messing up your clothes. We're all women. We've had accidents, but every single time, that's not how you want to live. And so the first thing my doctor said, well, are you okay with not having kids? Ma'am, I'm 40-something years old. I have not had babies yet. It's not going to happen. She said, well, I can get you in 3 weeks. I was like, hold up now. You're moving a little too fast. I got to talk this over with my mama. This was COVID time. So let me make sure. And then once I talked it over and we got it scheduled, I had that surgery. And now I'm telling you, stomach went down. It might get a little bigger now, but the stomach hair went down. The healing was okay. It was okay. I didn't have major complications except for that. So if you're having those kind of problems and symptoms, ladies, that's not a way to live because that affects your everyday life. You can't hang out with your girlfriends because you're going to be worried about messing up your clothes. You can't hang out with your husband or your man because you're going to be worried about messing up your clothes. So that's not a way to live. Take care of your bodies. And when your body talks to you, especially the vagina, you need to listen to her.
That's right.
Because she's going to control it. Please listen to her.
Yes, absolutely.
Yolanda, we know you have social media and you're a women's advocate. You like to talk to women about different things concerning their health, and this fibroid issue was something personal for you. What is it that you would like to share with our audience and people who may not follow you? What are some key things that you would like to get them, convey to them so that they will be more proactive with their health? What is it that you want to say?
The first thing that I want to share with women is no shame. There will be no shame. if you want to go the traditional method, you want to go see the gynecologist, you want to go see an MD, an internist, go and do that. It is your body. It belongs just to you. No man can tell you what to do. And I can promise you from personal experience, ain't nothing gonna change, ladies. He ain't gonna know. Don't you worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. Just go and take care of you. See about you. I'm very open about my journey. So if you want to contact me, talk about it, you need someone to go to the doctor with you, you're in the Jacksonville area, contact me, because we women, we have a stigma on us of shame because, especially in the African American community, about a hysterectomy or partial hysterectomy. There's always been a stigma that there's a shame in that. There is no shame in that. You really gonna start to live your best life without her. You gonna live your best life. Don't be ashamed. Get help, talk about it.
Let the people know where they can reach you.
So of course you can reach me on Facebook under Yolanda Sweetie Terry. You can reach me on Instagram under The Real Fit Y Terry. Follow me. I have a whole fitness journey. I used to be 268 pounds. And my fibroid journey actually helped save my life because I started to lose weight, to work out because of that. Also on TikTok under the same thing, The Real Fit Y Terry.
All right. Well, before we get out of here, you guys, y'all know we do an end with 10 with our guests. So, Yolanda, we will shoot 10 rapid fire questions to you, just so that people can kind of know you a little more personally. Okay. So, Ladybug, start us off.
Okay. Your favorite color?
Purple.
All right, I can see.
You can see it.
Heels or sneakers?
Heels.
Okay. Car or an SUV?
Car.
And then glam or casual?
Glam.
All right. Favorite restaurant?
Right now, Cooper's Hawk.
Okay.
Nice.
Right now.
Jamaica or Greece?
Jamaica.
Cardi or Nikki?
Ooh. Cardi.
Yes,
Cardi.
girl.
Beach or cabin in the mountains?
Beach.
All right.
Gotcha.
And last two, cat or dog?
Dog.
And of course, this is our fan favorite, New Edition or Boys to Men.
Oh my God. New Edition. New Edition.
No addition. You can't go
New
wrong with no
edition.
addition.
So there you have it, you guys. That's Yolanda's in with 10. Hey, I want to thank you all for tuning in today to our show. This was an important show to get out, like Yolanda said, ladies. If you're having issues, please go to the doctor, get yourself checked out. Be proactive for your health. Also get a second opinion. If the doctor isn't saying what you need to hear or just being passive and dismissive of your concerns, go get a second opinion. Follow up. Be proactive about your health. And don't forget, if you get that call from the school telling you to come pick up your bad behind kids, think of my girl Ladybug. She's been in education for 27 years. If you're on the highways and byways of the good old United States of America and you pass that FedEx truck, think of my girl Spicy Red. And if you think of anything dealing with love, peace, and prosperity, please think of me. Y'all have a good evening. We'll see you next time. Bye.
All right.